welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video on Iris perfumes. I've noticed over the past few months, reviewing all the new releases, that Iris seems to be very much the scent of 2022, 2023. There were too many twos in that 2023 there, weren't there? And so I wanted to do a video explaining the Iris scent and recommending the best Iris perfumes in my view. So that's what you're watching. If you're new here, then hello and welcome. We're all about perfumes. I have hundreds of videos, including lots of other ones going through particular perfume notes, as well as ranges, new releases, and of course my blog as well, where I do have an article on the best Iris perfumes. I'll leave that link down below. And as always, guys, all the perfumes I mention, I will link down below where you can get them all around the world. So when it comes to Iris, for me, Iris is a note which is more autumnal winter than it is spring summer. It's quite deep, almost creamy, buttery type floral, and it has a slight earthiness to it in my view. It's quite good for lasting and projection, and it's not like a lot of other florals that we're used to, like rose or peony, which have a more fresher profile. For me, Iris, just like, you know, the color purple, is a bit darker, deeper, more mysterious, more complex as well. In terms of where Iris comes from and how it's made and put into perfumes, you might have heard of the note called ORRIS. Now, ORRIS is actually the name which refers to the root of the iris plant. And when it comes to perfumery, it isn't actually iris flowers that are used to create an iris note or an ORRIS note. The flowers themselves don't have that much fragrance. What it actually is it's that root that is used. So what happens is that sort of gnarly root is harvested and then it's left to dry out for 3 to 5 years, and the scent sort of matures and evolves, and then they go through a typical process of distillery, turning it into a sort of gloopy type material, which I believe looks kind of like butter, and it's got the nickname Iris butter, and that is what is then used by perfumers and mixed with alcohol or whatever to make perfumes. So it's not actually the iris flower. So if you're looking at perfume notes and you see it says ORRIS, it basically means the same thing. It means iris. So in terms of the best iris perfumes, I think the one that's like a classic one that springs to mind is the Prada Iris fragrance, which has been around for a really long time now, and you don't really see it publicized too much, but for me that's kind of what I always think of when I think of a more traditional iris. It has a bit of a powderiness to it, and iris is often found combined with violet, which is that sort of powdery floral. Iris and violet work well together. A lot of sort of purple type perfumes like Guerlain's Entourage have iris and violet combined together. But recently I've seen some new releases which have presented iris in a different way and maybe look at the note a bit differently, because for me that more traditional powdery Prada Iris, it is a bit too sort of classic for me. So first one I wanted to mention is the latest edition in the Armani My Way range, and it is the new My Way Le Parfum. So here the iris is combined with an ombre musk note, which is very on trend at the moment, which is kind of like a warm, cozy, almost cashmere-y type fragrance note, and that combines with the iris to create something which is floral, and we still get the signature My Way tuberose note in here, as well as the orange blossom, but that musky iris for me is the main note, and it makes it a deeper, more elegant, more serious perfume compared to the other My Ways. I love original My Way and My Way Floral because of the light-hearted tuberose orange blossom, which is fresh but still floral and also has good projection and lasting power. This one is much more serious, kind of like the more mature, serious older sister of the other My Way fragrances. So here I think iris is used really well because it's not dominating. It's not made this into a really heavy, moody, like too heavy perfume. The ombre musk is a great combination to use with the iris. So if you're looking for a more modern, cozy type iris, I do think that the new My Way Parfum is a lovely example of that. And then there's been a couple of releases which have like a sweet iris, which is not something I ever sort of imagined or thought of. It's quite unique. And so probably the most sweetest one is this new limited edition Marc Jacobs Daisy Paradise, Daisy Love Paradise. So, you know, each year we get these limited edition versions of the Daisy perfumes, and Daisy Love Original is quite sweet perfume. Here you've got iris combined with whipped cream. Now that creamy, tonic whipped cream note again creates that kind of cozy feeling that you get from an ombre musk, but just a bit sweeter. And then you have the iris coming through, but I'd say this is like 70% whipped cream, 30% iris. And for me, I actually really like it. I think on paper, I'm not sure if I would have liked it, but smelling it, it is cozy, it's interesting, it's different. I have never smelt iris and whipped cream combined before in a perfume. And I think it smells more interesting than a lot of the Daisy and Marc Jacobs perfumes. It's definitely like unique. I don't know anything else on the market like this. If you like your more gourmand, sweet perfumes, like tasty type perfumes, I think this is something that I would wear when I want that cozy type vibe, but I still want some sweetness. And obviously the bottle is really cool as well. Another sort of sweet iris is Lancome's Vie Belle. This one came out towards the end of last year. This beautiful sort of gold sparkle on the bottle. So here we have the signature notes of original Vie Belle, like the patchouli base. We've got a bit of a rose heart, but actually the main notes are that iris and a sweet sugaryness that's been scattered over the iris. It's actually not got the praline in, which is in the original Vie Belle. Instead, you've got that sort of sugary, almost like a jelly fruit type scent. But the iris is definitely the main note, and it has an element of powderiness to it. I think probably because this came out in the winter, kind of feels like a scattering of powdery snow or something. But the iris here is pretty strong. Vie Belle, all the Lancome fragrances really are great for lasting, and this is no exception. And I think if you are really looking for an iris perfume where it's all about iris, but you want something that's a bit more modern and doesn't have the classic like powdery muskiness of like the Prada iris, I think this is a great like hero iris fragrance. Vie Belle, of course, just have released a new perfume as well, which is also iris. So we've had two new iris perfumes from Vie Belle. So this one's called Iris Absolue, and this one doesn't have the sweet notes in it. So this is a very intense Absolute iris perfume. For me, this is along the lines of Acqua di Parma Iris Nobile. There's also a fragrance from Floral Street called Iris Goddess, which is a heavy iris like this. But this is really just all about the iris. It's got a slight, do you know what it reminds me of? The scent of like crayons, like Crayola crayons. I don't know why it reminds me of that. It's, yeah, slightly Play-Doh-y undertone, but it's that butter. I think it must be that butteriness that the powder, that the iris, the ORRIS note is creating. So this is definitely a fragrance for lovers of iris. Other perfumes I'd recommend for iris lovers, the Estee Lauder Erin fragrances have one called Iris Meadow, which is a little bit more light-hearted, more like a spring meadow. But again, that iris note really coming through along with some lighter, cleaner sort of English country garden notes. The Tiffany & Co perfumes, they have an intense version which has a lot of iris in, and also Beautiful Magnolia Intense. A very misleading name. Original Beautiful Magnolia is a great magnolia perfume. The intense version is all about iris. And Bulgari Omnia Amethyst, which comes in a beautiful purple, like shell inspired bottle. That one uses like those purpley amethysty notes, like iris as well. And I think one that actually reminds me of this is from Parfum de Marly. They have one called Thalia, which is in like a black bottle, and that is that sort of heavy iris like the Vie Belle one is. And interesting fact for you about iris, the name comes from an ancient Greek, the name Irida, who was like a rainbow goddess. And I don't know if any of you have seen Fantasia from Disney's Fantasia film. In there's a scene where this sort of goddess has like this rainbow coming down from heaven. That's Irida. And you know, the idea is that the rainbow is what she uses to slide from the sky to the earth. So she's like the rainbow goddess, and that's where the name comes from. I understand that iris was a popular scent around sort of ancient Greece, ancient Roman times as well. So it's been around and used in perfumery for a long time. So yeah, guys, let me know what other iris perfumes you'd add to this list, and let me know your views on iris. Are you an iris fan? Are you loving all these new iris perfumes? Let me know in the comments. I do read all your comments. But that's it, guys. So thanks so much for watching. As always, all the links in the description box, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.